Yes, everybody, what is going on? And welcome back to MUFC MPB here on YouTube. Of course, my name is Brooks, and today, I believe, is Wednesday, the 27th. I was going to say the 20th. I am a very, very long way behind. But yes, Wednesday, the 27th of March. Coming to the end of the month, coming to the summer, which does mean one thing. I always say it, we're getting closer and closer to the summer transfer window. And as you can tell by the title, as you can tell by the thumbnail, and as you can tell by the bookmark tweet that is on my screen right now, reported by Sport Witness, Manchester United and AC Milan have both made advances in the last few hours to try and sign Boca Juniors centre-back Aaron Anselmino. It's possible that both sides make a concrete offer soon. Now, Anselmino isn't somebody which you know, it might not be a household name yet for you, especially if you're not from South America or not a Boca Juniors fan. But this is a young centre-back, an up-and-coming centre-back who is being touted to become one of the better centre-backs in world football, you know, at some point in his career. Not the next year, not the next 5 months, but he is on a trajectory path which will take him right to the very top. Now, I'll give you a little bit of information about him if you don't know him already. He's currently 18 years old, so he is a young centre-back. He's a prospect. And if Manchester United were to sign him, probably not someone that would come in and start the first game straight away. Somebody that would come in and apparently would be loaned out to a club so he could develop, a club like Nice, for example. That's an example of Manchester United and their multi-club system with Sir Jim Ratcliffe now. He's 6'1". He also has a £25 million release clause, which doesn't seem like that much. But Boca Juniors might be tempted to get rid of him if a suitable offer of around 16 or 17 million pounds did come in for him. Look, I don't know much about him. I've seen a few clips. I've watched a few videos on what people think about him and what people say about him. And what I've done is collated all the information which crosses over. So like if everybody's saying, yes, this guy is calm and composed on the ball, that is what I'll take from it. I won't take the one person that says, oh, he's erratic, he doesn't know what he's doing, you know, etc., etc. So I'll give you a little bit of a fact file on him. As I said, he's 18 years old. He's currently 6'1". He does, I've heard a few people say that he kind of reminds them of what they would have thought a young Virgil van Dijk or a young Rio would come in. So he's quick, he's calm on the ball. He's not really a player that dives into a lot of challenges. He understands, he's good at reading situations. He's good with the interceptions. He averages 1 interception per game and 3 clearances per game. He's got good ground speed, which is very, very important for a modern day defender playing at the top level for the top teams. And of course, for the style of play that Erik ten Hag wants to go towards, or what he was playing at Ajax, we're gonna be in a few situations where our 2 centre backs will be 1v1 against defenders on the halfway line. They will be defending balls over the top because, you know, if Manchester United are dominating possession, camped in the opposition's half, for example, you know, you come up against someone like an Ollie Watkins. He's got a lot of speed. He's going to be chasing the balls over the top. Manchester United need to have players that are capable of playing on the turn, very agile and quick across the ground to help defend those situations. And that is something which he does possess. He's mature for his age. Think of a player that we have now. He's just made his debut for England, Kobbie Mainoo. He's 18 years old, the same age as Anselmino, but he doesn't play like he's 18 years old. He plays beyond his years. He has a sort of game, the knowledge of the football, which makes you think, is this guy really 18? Has he been playing for Manchester United for years and we just didn't know? That, you know, if we get more of those players in 4 or 5 years now, when they are still young, when they are 23/24 and you've got players at the top level, it would just be absolutely amazing. He can cover the wide channels as well. And of course, as a Manchester United centre-back with Erik ten Hag at the helm, if we go towards the way that Erik ten Hag wants to play, he's going to be doing a lot of that. The 2 centre-backs are going to have to defend the wide spaces as well as cover each other, play on the halfway line, possess a lot of speed to defend over the top balls, or etc., etc. I think it's the direction that Manchester United want to go in. I think signing someone like this, from what I've heard and the few clips that I've seen, would make sense. And of course, he does have a lot of room for improvement. And as well, the price tag. It's not a high risk, high reward. It's a very low risk, high reward signing. A bit like Dan James. You had someone there who cost 17 or something million. It wasn't a lot. So it didn't, I guess, matter as much if he didn't go on to become, oh yeah, this guy's the best. It didn't matter as much. Yeah, if you go and spend 80 million on someone like Anthony, then he doesn't perform at the level you expect him to perform at. It does become a bit of a problem because you've just gone and spent all your money on this guy and he's not doing bits. But with Anselmino, £25 million release clause, not a lot of money for a club like Manchester United. It really isn't. If he doesn't go on to be what we think he's going to be, he has glimpses or he's on his way there but never really reaches his potential, yeah, it's going to be upsetting because, what could have been, but it's only 25 mil. If you spend 25 mil on him and he goes on to be the next Rio Ferdinand or the next Virgil van Dijk, then what? Yeah, Manchester United, you've done an absolute wonderful piece of business here. And that's the direction I'd obviously want it to head. And I do hope we make a concrete offer because why would you let an opportunity like this go? Now, I will say one thing. We always get links to players in and around South America. We were linked to Moises Caicedo, who ended up at Brighton. We were linked to Julian Alvarez, who ended up at City. We were also linked to Enzo Fernandez, who ended up at Chelsea via Benfica. All of these players get linked to Manchester United. We express interest. We send our scouts, but we never go the step further and make a bid or release them from their contract with a release clause, or even just say, oh yeah, we're here. We just look. We are perpetual window shoppers, and I think I'm right in saying that this summer is going to be a bit different, with this being a prime example. I hope that we go in if we don't get him, cool. If we don't get him because we didn't bid, I'm going to be fuming. If we don't get him, we just got outbid and he chose someone over us, I'll be upset, but I'll be like, yeah, we're making progress here. If we get him, hats off to you, Barada, hats off to you, John Claude, and hats off to you, hopefully, Dan Ashworth, because it will signal one of the biggest changes in Manchester United's transfer history policies in recent years. Actually going and signing these prospects, loaning them out, letting them develop, and then bringing them back in. A bit like what Arsenal did with Saliba and St Etienne. They bought him, loaned him back out to St Etienne, and he came back and is one of the best centre-backs in the world. We could have our own right here, and I really hope we do go ahead and get him. He looks like someone who could be Manchester United's starting centre-back in the next few years and be the starting centre-back and be the mainstay and the stalwart for the rest of his career if it all goes well. So I really do hope we go and sign him. But another player Manchester United have really pushed through the ranks this season is Kobbie Mainoo. Obviously, last night England played against Belgium at Wembley. It was a 2-2 draw, not down to England themselves, but down to a couple of individual errors from, I would say, I would put it on Lewis Dunk for the second Yuri Tillemans goal, and then of course Jordan Pickford for the first one. Kobbie Mainoo, on the other hand, has been awarded Player of the Match on his first ever start for England. I'm just gonna give him a little bit of a little round of applause and really just genuinely say to all of the people out there who are saying he's overhyped, who are saying he's rubbish, who are saying, I see a lot on Twitter about he's just the black Oliver Skip. He's not. He's Kobbie Mainoo, and he's coming and showing people that he's levels. Just because he's playing the simple pass, just because he's not, running through 4 or 5 guys every time he gets the ball, it doesn't mean that he's not genuinely a top talent. I saw something on Twitter the other day. It was a tweet, I believe, from 2016 when Kobbie Mainoo, or whatever year, when he was 11 or 10 years old. Someone was watching Manchester United youngsters in a tournament, and they said, Kobbie Mainoo, what a player or something. But basically, he was saying Kobbie Mainoo's there, and he recognised his exceptional talent at such a young age. So it's no coincidence that he's coming to Manchester United's first team at 18 years old, well, even at 17 years old, because he was there last year and even on the tour, and cemented his place. Right now, he's one of the first names on the team sheet, and he should be one of the first names on the team sheet for England at the Euros as well. I think even if it's just 1.5 games against Brazil and Belgium, he's demonstrated to Gareth Southgate, he's demonstrated to rival fans, he's demonstrated to people that might not watch Manchester United and just watch England that he is a genuinely a very, very good talent. I'm not sure if you'd call him generational. I don't want to put that sort of a label on him just yet, but he could be on his way. Not many players go from England youth, like under 17s, under 18s, straight to the first team. Wayne Rooney did it, I think. Jude Bellingham did it. Marcus Rashford did it, and then went back to the England under 21s and scored a hat-trick on his debut. And now Kobbie Mainoo's done it. And these are all players who have gone on to really reached their potential. Jude Bellingham, of course, is still young, but he's one of the better players in the world right now. Marcus Rashford has been Marcus Rashford. Yeah, he goes in and out of form, but he's still producing. He still gets a lot of goals and assists. He is still a very important player for club and country. Kobbie Mainoo is just at the beginning of this. And look, I'm not jinxing it, but I really think he could go on to do special things for England and Manchester United. And Gareth Southgate really hits the nail on the head here. Kobbie Mainoo brought us something completely different creatively. He's very different to what we've previously had. He's different to Conor Gallagher. He's different to Jordan Henderson. He's different to Calvin Phillips. He's also different to James Maddison and a Mason Mount, players that have played in that position for England before. But I also think he might be better. I think in the long run, he's going to be better than all of them. But I think even now, what he adds to the team, adding that little bit of individualism, like even for the penalty yesterday, for Ivan Toney's penalty, he got the ball, and what you might have seen Gallagher or what you might have seen Henderson, or even a Calvin Phillips, was past the direction he's facing. He wasn't facing forward. He was facing kind of backwards but sideways towards the bench. But he thought, nah, I've got a little gap here. I'm going to use my physical ability. I'm going to use my burst of acceleration and my dribbling ability to get past these players and just play a ball forward into Jude Bellingham, who was in space. And now all of a sudden, we're attacking. We're on the edge of their box. Bellingham plays it through to Ivan Toney. We get a penalty. Those are the differences. Just because Mainoo's pass might not have been a direct assist. I know people talk about pre-assist. It shouldn't be a thing. Like, players shouldn't get awards or accolades for pre-assists, but it should be recognised. He could have easily played it back. He could have easily chipped it out to or Chilwell or done something boring with it, but he thought, I'm taking a risk here, because he believed in himself and he had the quality. At such a young age, at Wembley on your full international debut against not a joke of a team. This is a team who were ranked number one for quite a few years. He did it, and he did it with precision, and I think that's just an ode to how good he is. At 18, listen, give it a year. Next Premier League season, it's going to be crazy. But Ivan Toney says it as well. At 18, I was probably playing on the Xbox while he's playing for England. I'm 24, and I'm playing PS5. Oh, what I say to my friends is, oh, you man, have you seen my Ultimate Team? I just did the Kingsley Coman SPC. I'm packing Zidane. Kobbie Mainoo's talking to his friends like, oh, did you see how I dominated Liverpool's midfield in the FA Cup? Did you see how I dominated Belgium's midfield? These are the levels that Kobbie Mainoo's at. He's not a normal footballer, and you guys need to realise that. The sooner you realise it, the better, because the happier you will be. And one last thing before I do end the episode here. Jude Bellingham, who is probably the benchmark for all young English midfielders right now. He was good tonight. He's a really good player, and he'll have a big future for Manchester United and hopefully England too. That is game recognising game. Jude Bellingham is giving you your flowers. You're doing something right. Look, let me know in the comment section down below whether you think Kobbie Mainoo should be starting England's first game of the Euros. And also let me know who you think should be partnering Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield next season for Manchester United, because there will be a few options and a few names floating around. But all I do know is the future of Manchester United's midfield will and should be built around Kobbie Mainoo, who, listen, what a beautiful footballer. What an absolutely beautiful footballer. 18 years old. Like Harrington. Make sure you do like the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, make sure you follow all of us down below on X. All of our links will be in the description down below. Make sure you keep up to date with all of the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, gossip, inside news, and anything to do with Manchester United via MUFC MPB over on X. That is at MUFC MPB over on X. I'll see you guys later on this week. Thank you very much and goodbye.